Hey there, and welcome back to the Ingrain Workshop. I'm Rick, and before we start today's video, I just wanted to give a special thanks to all the subscribers to the channel. Your comments have been greatly appreciated. Your support for the channel really gives me the motivation to continue making DIY videos. I hope these videos are really helping out. I enjoy making them, and I hope you enjoy watching them. So let's get back to today's video. In today's video, we're going to be repurposing some display shelves that we used to use in our art shows back around 2010. We're going to be repurposing these shelves into display shelves for inside the workshop. So let's get started. So back in 2010 BC, that's before COVID, not before Christ, Z and I used to go out and do art shows. And this was our typical display shelving that we would have inside our tent. We had probably 8 or 10 of these, and they would be set up around the perimeter of our tents. And then on the display shelves, we have our post office box door banks, and that's what we would sell at the art shows and craft shows. And then we would pack everything up in a trailer and then just go around the state of Florida doing art shows. But since COVID, we've kind of stopped doing art shows. We've created our Etsy store, which I'll leave a link in the video description below, to where you can go and look at the banks that we have on our Etsy store and purchase a bank if you're interested. And I don't have that many displayed in our Etsy store, but as I get these out of their storage and get these up on the shelves in the workshop, then I will be able to put more of these out on Etsy. So this was our typical display rack, and it's basically just plywood shelving with some oak edge banding, and then these ladders, which is just soft pine stained, and this is what we would use to set up. That way we can tear them down. They're very portable. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take the shelves and convert those into French cleat shelving for here inside the workshop. So we can take and have all these displayed inside the workshop, and then when people purchase banks off of our Etsy store, they're readily available. I can just go on the wall, take them down, put them in a flat rate box, and ship them to the buyers. So let me go ahead and show you what I'm thinking and what we've already done, and then I'll show you how we did it. So behind me is the shelving that we used to use for the art shows. I've converted those into a French cleat system, and as you can see, each shelf has 3 individual shelves, just a bottom shelf, middle shelf, and then a top shelf. And you can see I've got banks loaded up on one shelf, and then the other one's empty. And I'm just going to continue down the wall, making these shelves that are going to sit between our faux beams. This was a metal building, and I've got prior videos how I made the faux beams. But these shelves are going to fit between the faux beams, and I do have a 12-foot high ceiling in the workshop, so at least they're up and out of the way. I still have room to come in below these shelves and put wall cabinets, which I will be doing in the future. So this is very nice that they're up and out of the way, and they're really not taking up any wall space from the workshop itself, because that space would be a wasted space up there anyway. So now I'm able to utilize this space around the perimeter of the workshop. So let's get started on the build. The first thing we're going to do is head over to the miter saw with the existing shelves and go ahead and cut the oak edge banding off the ends of the shelves. We are going to be able to use this edge banding later once we cut the shelves down to the proper size. I'm cutting the shelves to the proper width so they'll fit between the faux beams on the wall. With the sides of the shelves cut to length, I'm going to take the oak edge banding and re-glue it to the bottom of the sides. And then once I glue it, I'm going to just take a finished nail gun and shoot some finished nails into the end of it just to hold it in place. And then this will finish up the side panels for the shelves. Now we're going to take the sides of the shelves over to the bandsaw and we're going to cut out the recess. It's a 3/4 inch recess for the French cleats. The reason why we're cutting this recess in the side panel is so the actual shelves, when I hang them on the wall, they'll sit flush on the wall and they won't sit off the wall any, and it'll make a nice fit against the wall. Next, we're going to take the 3 shelves, head over to my outfeed table, and start drilling out some pocket holes. I'm going to drill out 3 pocket holes on each side of the shelf, and then I'm going to repeat that for all 3 shelves. As far as the orientation of the pocket holes, since these shelves are going to be up high in my workshop, I'm going to take the pocket holes and put them on the tops of the shelves. That way, when you're looking at the shelves from the bottom, the pocket holes won't be visible. With the sides and shelves complete, I can start the glue up process. So I'm going to start with the bottom shelf and just one side, get it glued up, and then I'm going to just take and clamp it down. Once I got good glue squeeze out, then I'm just going to check for square, and then pop in some pocket hole screws just to go ahead and fasten it to the one side. And then I'm going to take and repeat the process for the other side, and then I'll also repeat the process for all 3 shelves. So there's going to be a bottom shelf, a middle shelf, and then a top shelf. So with the 1x3 pine ladders disassembled, I'm going to use those for the French cleat hanging system for the shelves. I know it looks awkward here because my table saw has a right tilt blade, which means the fence has to be on the left side of the blade. But you just have to be cautious when you're cutting the French cleat. And again, the blade is set at a 45-degree angle, and I'm just running it through. And then I'll do the same thing for the mating end. One side will be fastened to the shelf itself in the recess, and then the other will be fastened directly to the wall. This is the cleat, and you can see the 45. I'm going to take and mount this to the back of the shelf. It's going to fit inside the recess, and I'm going to pre-drill some holes to fasten it to the sides of the shelf, and then also I'm going to drill some holes through the top shelf and fasten it through the top shelf as well, just to give it added stability. And it will also keep the shelf from flexing in the middle once it's mounted up on the wall, and then once it's fully loaded, it will definitely add more rigidity to the shelf. So here's the final product. I think I made 5 or 6 of these shelves, and you can see they're fully loaded with banks, and they're just spread out kind of throughout the workshop. I tried to utilize the wall space that I had, which wasn't going to take up any wall space within the actual workshop. But it was a nice project to do, and it now enables me to display all the post office door banks that we have in our inventory, and I can start taking some individual pictures of all the banks and then posting them on our Etsy store. I will leave a link in the video description below to our Etsy store where you can go and view all the banks that we have in our inventory, and if you'd like to purchase one, feel free to make a purchase. Again, I think this is a lot better than going out and physically doing the art shows. Well, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope this video helps you out in your project. If it did, then please hit that subscribe button and ring that notification bell. As always, I'll leave links in the video description below to all the products and equipment that I used in this video. This is Rick with the Ingrain Workshop. Until next time, thanks for watching, and please share.